Okay guys, here we've got the complete table as it is assembled by our man Kaiser over here. So what we did now is, you'll notice that there are a couple of small gaps. Now the reason why that happens is because of the vacuum on the machine. We are simulating a single head hobbyist machine that works on a nail system instead of a vacuum bed, so that it simulates your technique or your abilities much better if you've got an entry-level machine. Obviously, if you've got a vacuum bed and a much higher-end machine, then you're not going to have as much of that issue. But basically what happens is, as the machine runs, the wood starts bowing when you start clearing out certain areas. It just bows ever so slightly. And then basically what happens, it takes out just a little bit more material in some places than others. This is a common thing. It's a quick workaround. It's nothing to worry about. I'll show you exactly how we're going to fix it. You'll notice that we've got a couple of small holes in the top as well, and you'll have them on the sides where the nails went in. It's a small little mark that we're also going to cover up. So basically our next step is to prepare this for a nice layer of paint, and the way we would do that is to use body filler or wood filler and then start patching all these different lines. So in our next clip you'll notice that Kaiser will be working with a body filler, the same as they use in the automotive industry, and we'll start patching all these holes, and we'll make sure that all these little visible lines are hidden as much as possible. Basically what will happen then is we'll let it dry. Now the body filler does have a quick drying ability. I think it takes a couple of minutes. Once it's dry, we'll go with the sanding process again and get it nice and smooth. And we'll chamfer this top edge as we did in the design, but we will do this with a hand trimmer, and we will just do a little, just to take that sharp edge off the top, and then this unit will be ready for its first layer of primer. Now, during the primer process, the goal is to get a result as close to a finishing coat as possible. So, in other words, we primer to make our primer look like it's a finished product. We go all out to get the best finish on primer level. That way you save on the final top coat paint. You don't want to use paint to rectify any issues on the unit itself. You want to use that during the primer stage. So you could put 10 layers of primer on here if you wanted to, and 1 layer of paint, and you'll be okay. What a lot of people do is they do the opposite. They give it a quick primer, and then they start with the top coat, and then they see there's a mistake, and then they have to fill it and sand it and then restart the process, and then you end up using 3, 4, 5 times the amount of color instead of spending that on primer, which is much cheaper and a much better way of doing it. So in our next clip we'll start patching, we'll chamfer the edges around, we'll clean it off nicely, and we'll go into primer level. Okay guys, here we've got the primered version. So this is the first layer of primer, and you'll notice that we've got a couple of marks on here. They haven't been flattened out yet. Now what happened here was, once you've done your first layer of primer, it's easy to notice things that you might have missed, which means you can actually go back and patch it up and fix it and continue that cycle until you get a perfect finish. So this is not perfect just yet, but we are getting close. So the idea is to fix all the issues with body filler and things like that, sand it down, take a look, see what you've missed, do the process again and again and again until you get it absolutely perfect. Now, if you rushed, obviously this is not the best technique. You would want to patch it up as quickly as possible and get it done. But in this case, you will have to just go through that entire cycle, repeat and repeat and repeat until you get the final finish. Now, you'll notice that we've got the chamfered edge. On all the edges here, we've just chamfered with a 2mm chamfered edge. Now, what helps with the chamfering is when you paint this unit and you don't have that sharp edge, it doesn't chip as easily. So this helps to give your product just a little bit of a lifespan and make sure that nothing chips off or breaks off around the corners. It also just looks a bit better, especially when you join two panels together. A chamfered edge looks a lot better. So we're going to carry on with this. We will flatten it with a 320, get it nice and smooth, maybe a 400 grit sandpaper. You could use a 320, 400 or a little bit higher than that just to get a nice smooth final finish. And then we're going to go into final paint. In this case, we're going to paint this gold to give it a nice metal look. So we'll see you in the next lesson. Okay guys, so this is the final finish of the little side table that we did. Now we've decided to go with gold. You could paint it any color that you choose. It could be a matte or gloss finish or whatever it is that you want. In our specific situation now, we painted this a matte gold for a client of ours. We've got 2 of these completed now and we will be delivering them later today.